Hello everyone, I hope you are having a terrific Tuesday. I am on here because this is the third to last event we are doing in Alexia Events to do class previews for all of the fantasy fitness classes that we are offering at Stardust and Shadows Soiree in May. Now, before I dive in, I am going to double check just to make sure the volume's on, because I know sometimes we have some technical difficulties. We are good, awesome. So, with that being said, we're going to dive in. So, we've gone over the Valkyrie classes, the mind stilling classes, the boot camps, the mobility classes. We've gone over the enemies to lovers class. We've gone over the main character energy class. We've pretty much dived into almost everything besides the Assassins class that we're doing today. Then we have Fae Dance Fitness, as well as, am I missing one or is that it? I think that's all of them. Yeah, Fae Dance Fitness, so it's just one. I thought there was two more left. No, that's just one. How exciting, we're almost there. So with that being said, today we are going over the Assassins and Healers Self-Defense class, which has recently been changed to the Blades Path Assassin Self-Defense Training. So you may see both names there because we recently went on a little bit of a intellectual property backtrack and rename some of the classes. So today we're talking about the Assassins and the Healer Self-Defense class, also known as the Blades Path Assassin Self-Defense Training, which will be available on both days that the Rainbow Market is open for Stardust and Shadows Soiree. Now, we're going to go into what to expect in the class, where the inspiration of the class came from, who can attend the class, what you need to bring to the class, and then we're going to do a little bit of a class preview where we do a warm-up. We're going to do some self-defense techniques without weapons, some self-defense techniques with weapons, and then also some takedowns. So stay tuned. Now, before we begin, I do want to remind you guys that we are running a contest, so anyone who comments at the end of this live and answers the question that I ask at the end of this live will be entered into a free membership to our Nexus app, which gives you access to all things Bookus, fitness, nutrition, mindfulness, and self-defense programs. So stay tuned until the end if you want an entry into that contest that ends the first day of Stardust. Now, diving into the class itself. So I like to call it the Blades Path for short for this class. And the inspiration originally came from the Assassins and Healers excerpt out of the Assassin's Blade book for Throne of Glass, as well as a little bit of excerpts from Tower of Dawn for Throne of Glass. Now, since then, I have read many more Assassins fantasy-based books. So this can also be inspiration for Sarah from the Flesh and Fire series. We have, who am I reading right now? Oh, I'm reading the Choosing Chronicles, which has Brynleigh, she's an assassin in it, Inej from Grishaverse. There are so many great main character assassins out there that we read. So this series is really, this class is inspired by those series, allowing us to learn how to train like those that inspire us in our books. So just like Irene Towers learned how to protect herself in a single night, thanks to Celaena Sardothien, today we're going to gain a foundation of self-defense, because strength isn't just about wielding a weapon, it's also about knowing how to use it, how it matters, and also defending yourself, because before you even learn offense, you always learn defense. Now, what to expect in this class. Now, in this session, you're going to develop essential techniques to escape holds, block attacks, and strike with confidence, or more so counter strikes. Like I said, we're doing a good defense, both armed and while with a training dagger. Now, I will note for today, our training daggers aren't in yet, so we will be using one of our, this isn't sharp, but it's not dull for the purposes of today. But for the class, we will have something very similar to what we use in our Valkyrie boot camps, but it will be training dagger sized. Now, who is this class for? Well, anyone really wanting to work on real-world self-defense skills in a fantasy-filled session. It's going to help you build confidence and embody your inner warrior. So, and then what to bring? Well, comfortable clothes. As always, cosplay is welcome as long as you can get up and down. You can totally wear your cosplay. Sneakers or barefoot training is welcome, and a water bottle because hydration is always key. Now, with that being said, let's dive into the class. So the class itself, you're going to hear me mention some excerpts from some of the different series that have assassins with them that I used as inspiration for particular parts of these classes. So you'll hear me reading those. I also today have my partner Alex, who will be helping me in the self-defense techniques, as well as being a demo buddy for the stretches, warm-ups, and cool-downs. So now let's sharpen your instincts, strengthen your body, and step into the mindset of an assassin with this class preview. So beginning with a warm-up, we're going to start with a walking world's greatest stretch. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and then Alex is going to demo it for me while I read a few things to you guys. So we're going to start at the end of one room, working your way across to the other, stepping forward in a nice long lunge, trying to keep that back leg straight. Opposite hand will come down of what foot's in front, and you're going to open up in a nice big twist. And then as you come back, you're going to step the back foot forward and come up, and then step that forward to do the opposite side. Twist, up, forward, and then you'll switch to either turn around to face the other way, or if you want a little bit more advanced, because you have to think about it a bit more, you can also step back and go backwards. So I'm going to have Alex continue to demo that while I talk a little bit. So Celaena told Irene that people, specifically men, usually don't hurt women who look like they can put up a fight. So advice that she gave was they tend to pick you because you look off guard or vulnerable, or you'd be sympathetic to them. So you always want to make sure that you walk with confidence, because that's the first step of defending yourself, is being able to walk like you're not a victim. From there, they'll usually try to move you to another location. So do not let them move you to another location. Fight back enough to convince them that you're not worth it, and always make as much noise as you can. Thank you, Alex. From there, we're going to go into one of the techniques that we will be doing in class for May. Now, in the class itself, when you're in person, we're going to be doing about 3 techniques. But for today, just because it's a little class preview, we're just going to do one and build upon it over the steps of using no weapon, using a weapon, and then also adding a takedown. All right, let's dive in. So, Alex, come join me. We are going to be doing a rear single arm over the shoulder self-defense technique. So the person who is the attacker is going to come up from behind them, hence the rear, single arm over the shoulder. Now, what we're not doing, can you be a little shorter for me? Thank you. What we're not doing is we're not grabbing them and putting them in a chokehold if we know how to do that. That's not what we're working on today. Well, we have techniques for that. We're starting simple today. So it's just like if someone were to grab someone and like run away with them. That's what we're going for. So just arm around trying to grab them. So for the victim, so you're going to become the attacker for me. So the attacker brings the arm around. Now it's actually kind of instinct for me, but I put my arm up here and ready to go. So you might not do that. If not, slip the hand in. So we're here. We want to see if it's friend or foe. Oh, it's foe, not friend. So we want to get out of this situation. So the first thing we're going to do is do some type of strike to distract them. For this specific purpose, we're going to do a rake down the shin and a stomp on their foot. So what that's going to look like is we're going to pivot. So we're going to face this way so they can see your foot. You're going to take the bony end of your foot, rake it down their shin, which is going to feel horrible, ending with a stomp on the foot, crushing the little metatarsals in their foot if you can. So it's a rake and stomp. From there, I grab, so turn to face this way a little bit, thank you. I rake and stomp, grab, stick my hip out, around, and turn. Now, from there, we're going to do it facing this way so they can see behind. So, rake and stomp, stick my hip out, grab and turn. So from here, we want to get the arm so that the joints are going in a direction that they're not supposed to go, which then pulls Alex in any direction I want him to. So you want control over the arm. So what we're going to do, you can grab 2 fingers, you can grab 1 finger, you can grab the whole wrist, but you want to bend that wrist in, and you want to lock the elbow so that we're trying to get this up that way. When you have that, you pretty much have total control over them. So what it looks like in total from the beginning is arm wraps around, grab, rake and stomp, hip out, around and back, and we're here. So that's the first technique. Now, to build upon that technique, we're going to move forward into the section where we add the training daggers in. So the attacker now is armed with a weapon. What do we do? So like I said, we're sticking with the same technique for today's preview purpose. And like I said, you guys will have actual training daggers, so don't use anything with a sharp pointy end for practice at home with your partner. So same thing, same strategy, coming around, and now I'm like, hey, give me your money, or hey, take me to a fantasy event. What do you want to do? So this is what the attacker is doing. Now, victim, very similar to what we did in the first round. So coming around, hey, take me to a fantasy event. So hand comes up. From there, we'll rake and stomp. Now this time we want to make sure that you could technically do this before they were armed with one arm, but we really want to make sure that we have a hand to get that weapon as we are disarming them. So 2 hands this time if we didn't do it. Hip goes out, go around, down, and then you want to make sure that you bend the blade away. So if it's a longer sword like I did, I can use my elbow like that, but if it's a shorter one, you're going to want to make sure to use your hand and twist their wrist, which makes them let go, and then either I can counter, or I can stab them in their kidney. Whatever you want to do, just make sure you stick them with the pointy end. So that's the same technique, but adding a blade into it. So doing it one more time. The attacker comes around, oh no! Rake and stomp, hips out, around, break, stab. That is the second way to do that technique. Now, from there, adding in a takedown. So, for some of the techniques, the takedowns may have you go backwards on your back. For some of the techniques may have you come forward on the takedown. One thing that I want to point out specifically on here is that in the training class that you will be doing with us in May, we'll be doing the takedowns, meaning the coaches. So you won't be taking another participant down for safety purposes. If you watch this and say, hey, I want to try this with my friend or partner at home, I just want to break down real quick how to fall without hurting yourself. So it's called a break fall. And you want to make sure, the biggest thing is that you're protecting your head. Now, a lot of people, if they fall, they tend to like drop onto one spot of their back. Can you move that way a little bit for me, please? Thank you. So when they fall, they focus on just here or just here. So when you fall, you want to try to take up as much surface area as possible to limit the amount of injuries. So you'll see a lot of people throw their arms out. So just stay there real quick. So when I do it, you'll see me go, and I also keep my head off the ground. So if I were to test this on my friend, I'm going to say, okay, keep your head in. You're going to bring your arms out, try to take up as much surface space as possible. I'll push them back. Good. Now, going the other way, if we're going forward like we will be in this technique, you want to make sure you have at least one arm protecting you, 2 if you can, and you fall forward. So, for instance, I have my friend, he's on his knees. I give him a little push. That's how you learn how to fall safely. So, come to standing, going into the takedown. So, for this portion in the in-person session, we would do this with the training daggers. Because we don't have the safety training daggers, we are not going to do it with our pointy dagger as we take Alex to the ground, so we don't stab Alex with the pointy end by accident. So, what we'll be doing is the person will be coming around, you'll do the maneuver, the person who is The attacker will then get to the point where their hand's behind them, and we're going to take them to their knees. Once they're on their knees, they'll put their hands out in front of them to catch them on the ground. So switching to the victim role, attacker comes around, I put my hand up, stomp and rake, stick my hips out, around and down, disarm the blade if I have it. Then from there, we're going to take their knees out. So you can kick. I recommend like pushing it down to the ground all the way, not just kicking it, pushing it and going through. And then from there, if you really wanted to, because the goal is to run away if we can, you can kick them away and run. So doing it a little bit quicker for you guys. Attacker comes around, grab, stomp, rake, hips out, down, and kick. So, thank you, Alex, for being a good sport. So before we do our cool down, that is just one of the 3 techniques that we will be teaching at the Blades Path Assassin Self-Defense class. We're going to be building upon those 3 techniques in the 3 categories of no weapon, weapon included, and then including the takedown from there. Now, wrapping it up with a cool down, because while we do the fun things, it's always important to take care of your body, rest and recover in between. So we did the fun activating stuff, now we got to cool down a little bit. So I'm going to have Alex join me on the ground, and we're going to do a single leg straddle. So one leg's out, one leg's in. Inhale, lengthen the spine and rotate the chest towards the straight leg. And then exhale, fold forward, and we're going to hold there for some, we'll say 3 breaths. Now, while Alex is stretching, I do want to remind you guys that, just like Celaena Sardothien said, if you get the chance, teach this to any female who will take the time to listen. And honestly, for me, my preference, teach it to anyone who listens. Everyone needs basic self-defense. From there, you're going to inhale the arms up, open to the side, and reach the arms over. We'll take 3 breaths there. Another option, you can take the hand to the knee if you want. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, switch legs. Turn to the straight leg and fold forward. And I do want to just reiterate that this class is made for anyone. It's not, you don't have to have any self-defense experience. You don't have any martial arts experience. You can be completely new off the block and just want to have a good time. And we can give you progressions and regressions that are going to meet your needs. Okay, last stretch. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, turn to the bent leg and reach over to the side. If you want to take that bottom arm and reach it to the knee, you can do that as well. Last 3 breaths here. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, lower the arms down slowly. And that is our cool down. Thank you, Alex, for your time. I want to thank you guys for coming tonight. It was so lovely to talk to you. I want to thank my partner again, Alex, for coming and being a good sport and working with me during this class. You just got a glimpse of the Assassins and Healers Self-Defense class, or newly named the Blades Path Assassin Self-Defense Training. This was just a preview, as I said, so imagine what you'll gain in the full session at Stardust in May. Now, before you go, remember our contest. So you're going to drop a comment below and answer the question and get an entry to win a membership for a month to our Nexus app, which has our bookish fitness, nutrition, mindfulness, and self-defense programs, and the contest runs until 5/2. So the question is, Domo, please, what is the one reason you want to learn self-defense? So if you answer that in the comments below, you get an entry to win a month of our membership for free. Thank you for training with me today. It was amazing to see you guys. Stay strong, stay aware, keep moving like a warrior, and I'll see you guys next time.